pound smallmouth. No. And they made him smallmouth. Dollar smallmouth. Dollar smallmouth. How about that, Eddie?
I like that. That's actually pretty funny.
That's Big Fish Eddie right there on that little voice soundbite. You like that intro?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, I just threw it together one night. We may rock with it, maybe with us forever. But anyway, welcome back to the MODCast, or I guess welcome to our first official podcast.
Yep.
So, I picked you for our first one.
That's good.
So yeah, it is pretty good. It is pretty good. But I'm your host today. My name is Wes Yancey. We have Wyatt Marler, for those of you who don't know him. We're right here in Nixon, Missouri, and Wyatt has been on a tear here locally, and he's somebody that we've been working with here at the shop at Modern Outdoor Tackle, and somebody I wanted to have on right away. But Wyatt, if you don't mind, just kind of tell us who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, I'm Wyatt. I'm from Oldfield, Missouri, which is only like 45 minutes east of here. Pretty small in Missouri. So.
And you played sports growing up?
Yeah, I played a lot of baseball.
How old are you?
20.
20. So you could still be playing baseball.
Yeah, I decided to go fishing.
You took the fishing route.
Yep.
So that's something that's kind of interesting these days. Kids have the opportunity. Like I played baseball as my sport as well.
Yep.
Here, I graduated from Nixa, but I didn't have fishing back then. Mm-hmm. It was like getting your canoe and go to the river and go to the lake if you had a boat. But we didn't have bass fishing in high school.
Yeah, it was my senior year, and I decided I was just going to, after high school, I was just going to fish instead of play baseball.
And so did you fish in high school through the NYFA?
Yeah, I fished the NYFA and then a little bit of they had like the Mo Bass or whatever.
So you have to forgive me, but I wasn't familiar with your high school career. Yeah. So were you kicking butt through there? Or?
Yeah, we did good. I mean, we won a few tournaments. I think we got second in the state championship one year. I mean, we consistent. We did good pretty much every tournament.
Okay.
I mean, we top 10, 15 every tournament.
And so how does it work in terms of like getting to the state championship? And
it's a points, like in the NYFA, it's a point system. I mean, it's just being consistent. I think it's just the first 3 tournaments, and then they have the championship at the end of the year.
Okay.
In like August or whatever.
All right. And so is it how many people make it to the state championship?
There's like 300 boats in the high school deal. Okay. I think Missouri's got like the biggest high school fishing. I mean, it's big. And I think I don't even remember what percent it was, but I think there was like 100 that made it or something like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, we do live in an area, in my opinion, here in the Midwest, that if you can win here, I really think you can do it at any level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how good our just regional, these guys are sticks.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fishermen around here. I mean, it's crazy.
There's other states too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that would argue Alabama and, Tennessee and Georgia and all that. And there's lots of great fishermen that come through that area. But,
yeah, no doubt.
You can spin a bottle here and hit Table Rock Lake, Grand Lake, Stockton Lake,
Lake of the Ozarks,
Bull Shoals.
Yep.
You're not that far from Pickwick, so it's a great area
Kentucky
to live.
Lake. I mean, we're all very close.
Yep. So, guys, you'll have to forgive me a little bit. I'm kind of getting my bearings too as a podcast host. This is my first podcast too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we've been wanting to do here to help get some reach. And, there's opportunity here, guys, that we're looking for some sponsors. We're going to be offering a sponsor deck that's going to be very affordable for the rest of the year for somebody that might have a small business locally. A couple of shout outs I wanted to give. My buddy Eric Edwards here in Nixa has got New American Funding. If you guys are looking for financing on a new home, or you need help maybe getting ready to put a down payment on something, you want to speak with somebody about that, make sure you holler at Eric Edwards at New American Funding. And then check out Huckleback Golf. It's an app on your phone. Rob Sapko created it. It's something where these guys can play golf games, different games like card games. I guess golfers have a lot of different little games they can play, and this app tracks it all. It tracks the money, and it does it for you. So check out Huckleback Golf. But let's talk about your past season. You've been on a tear.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's been watching, but can you talk a little bit about some of the big wins and some of the memorable tournaments?
I mean, last year, no doubt, the Anglers in Action OMTT weekend when we had the almost 27 one day and 30 the next day. I mean, will probably be I'll never forget that weekend. I mean, you'll never we'll never forget
Who
that.
Who fished it with you?
Nick, my buddy Nick.
Okay. Nick Lawyer?
Yeah, Lawler. Hell, I've been friends with him since kindergarten, so we've known each other for a long time.
So when you were coming into that, were you on them or?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, we had a couple spots that we found in practice that you could roll up and catch a 5 or 6 pounder, and there was hundreds.
And did it just work out that day? Like, were they shooting on it as soon as it hit?
Yeah, like the OMTT the first day. I mean, we had our limit. We had our almost 27 by like, I don't know. I think we were last flight that day, and we took off at, I don't remember, 7:30, and by 9 o'clock we had 27.
You guys just order some pizza and hang out, or
that day we didn't, but Sunday we did.
Because you knew you had AIA the next day.
Yeah,
right?
we just left them. We didn't want anybody to, see where we were, and we just saved our fish. And I really think we could have caught 30 though that day too. I really do.
That's an incredible day on Table Rock.
Yep.
And so going into that, like, have you had any issues with anybody following you or like trying to find your spots yet?
I mean, yeah, you get those people, but it's not around here. It's not as bad as what you would think. There's definitely people out there that watch. So
yeah. I mean, it's going to happen.
It's everywhere.
You don't have to feel bad admitting it is what it is if you're good and they're trying to get some information, whether they're fishing against you or they just want to catch your fish later.
Yeah. I mean, it's just part of it. You just got to keep fishing. So
keep your boat unwrapped and probably doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, so you had OMTT, you guys got 27 and you took first. And then the very next day,
had almost 31.
Holy cow. Same spot.
Yeah, same 2 spots.
Yeah. And so it took them, what does something like that pay for both days? Do you remember?
I think we won. I don't really remember. It was like 28 or 30,000, I think.
Holy
it was. Yeah.
cow. Seriously, that much?
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. So this is something you're doing full time now?
Yeah, full time.
Okay. Are you doing any guiding or are you just fishing tournaments?
Fishing tournaments, doing a little work on the side. But other than that, mainly fishing tournaments and just
stacking cash.
Trying to stay consistent.
Stacking cash.
Yeah, trying to.
We're going to make him a shirt that says stacking cash. If he's making 28, 30 grand in 2 tournaments. But guys, OMTT, let's talk a little bit about that. Those guys run a great tournament.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Love it. They're good people. It's Ozark Mountain Team Trail, so it's a team trail. Wyatt, you can probably, I fished it with Matt.
Yeah.
But, we fish what we can. But can you qualify? Help me remember if you qualify for, what can you qualify for through OMTT?
You can qualify for their championship to win a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you qualify, can you, for the classic or anything? Or
no, you can qualify you can qualify for the Bassmaster Team Championship. And then if you do good in the Bassmaster Team Championship, you can go to the classic.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. All right. Yeah, so it's a great tournament series, guys. If you're looking for something to hop in here locally, definitely check out the OMTT.
Yeah, they got a good championship. You can win a boat. And all that stuff.
Yeah, so. Payouts are good. Yeah. Obviously, you just heard what Wyatt was able to win. No, that was the championship.
That was just a normal. That's with your first and then your boat incentive. And all that. So. But their championship, I mean, we did win it and won a boat. We won a Ranger. So at the end of the year, last year
too.
Yeah,
you won a Ranger. What'd you do with it?
We sold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it take you a while to sell it, or just make somebody a smoking deal?
No, we sold it for like $45,000 and it was gone.
Okay.
In a hurry.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you split it with your partner?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's good on you.
Oh yeah. I mean,
is he a pretty good fisherman?
Yeah, Nick's a good fisherman.
On Mike, what else are you going to say? On Mike, what else would you say? That's why.
No, I mean, really, I mean, he's a good fisherman. He really is.
I know he is, and I'm sure. I've never met Nick, but I'm sure he is. If you're fishing with him, you're going to pick a good partner.
Yeah.
But well, obviously people want to know. It's not like I'm going to ask you a miracle question. Yeah. There's no answer to it. But obviously, you're doing something different. You're winning tournaments. You found the key to win. So what? Livescope's obviously helps. And it's not all you do, but it's something you're really good at. So what do you think makes you better at Livescope than the next guy?
Man, I mean, I do a lot of stuff the same as everybody. I mean, I just got so much confidence in it. I can roll with it all day because I know what I can do with it. And I think it's more of a confidence deal. I really do. If a guy's got confidence in it and can do it all day, I mean, you're going to find something that a lot of people won't find. I mean, because you're doing it all day long. I mean, I think it's a big confidence deal.
It makes sense too, because it's just like this big crappie challenge this weekend. Yeah. I told myself like go scoping the whole time, and I did, but I'd stop on a brush pile for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And catch a bunch of fish and think, oh, I'll pop a 2-pounder soon. No, I didn't. If I'd have kept moving and looking for the right marks, I might have done it. And the guys that did it, that's what they did.
And they won, didn't they?
They won first and second place out of the same boat. And he said he has whatever 300 amp hour lithiums. He said, I never stopped.
Yeah. I really do think it's a confidence deal. And, you know, getting good at making the right cast and stuff like that. But sticking with it's definitely a lot of people don't stick with it. They just, you know, they do it for an hour or two and they get sick of it. They're done.
And so how are you able to keep your co-angler engaged? Are you guys rotating casts or?
Yeah, we like me and Nick, we fished together so long. We've got a system, you know, like if I miss, he cast. If he cast and he missed, then I cast, you know, just same deal.
That makes sense. I'm sure a lot of guys do it that way too. And sometimes a fish is swimming at you, swimming away or swimming to the right. But I've been fishing with you, and I mean, you put it on their head. I can tell you that. Like, you know, people after I went with you, they were like, what's he doing? I'm like, if I could tell you something that would change your world, I wouldn't. First of all, because it's information. But I'm like, nothing different. And I've been with a lot of pros, you know, like when I was with Undercover, and I've been in pros boats. The frustrating thing is they're not doing anything that different than the next guy. They're just efficient. And like you said, they're confident. They stick with it. And it might only take the right 5 fish that you come across all day on that screen. Make the right cast, and you're there.
But people don't believe that it's a confident deal. You know, they think that you're just saying that. But I really think it is. Like, I think it's just, I mean, if you're confident in it, you're going to be more efficient in it and doing it. So I really think that's what it is.
When did Livescope come out? When did you start doing it?
I don't know. It's probably been 2 or 3 years now since I started doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
So not that long.
No, I didn't even get on the train like right off when it came out. I mean, I had it, but I never used it. You know, it was just one of those deals.
Yeah. So when did you first go, okay, this is it?
It's probably, I mean, really, I thought about 2 years ago.
Well, what was that moment? Were you with somebody, or did you just decide to turn it on?
Me and my dad were fishing some stuff out of Theodosia, which is on Bull Shoals, and we started winning and stuff like that, and it really kicked me off, you know, because I was doing it with that. And then from there on, it's just, I've been doing it since. So
tell us about your dad. Did he get you into fishing?
Yeah.
How long you been fishing as a kid with him?
Yeah, I've probably been, I mean, I've fished since I probably could walk, you know, white bass fishing off the bank and stuff. But I started tournament fishing when I was probably 10 or 11. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Back when I was fishing with my dad, they had like father, like son tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't even have any of that stuff.
You familiar with that tournament series? Yeah. I mean, that was way back. I was a little kid with like a patches pressed onto my little blue jean shirt, and my dad put my name on the side of the boat. Shout out to Dad. Yeah, man, that's something I wish they'd bring back.
Yeah, they don't have any of that stuff, you know, anymore. A lot of the little tournaments are just kind of fading out.
Yeah, we've got some guys like Mitchell Marriott's doing the old '86 tournament. The guys on the Mill Creek night tournament are doing a good job. We sponsor that. So if you guys are looking to hop in, even if you're working, that's a night tournament. Friday night.
7:30 to 1:30.
So what a cool night to get out there on Friday. Your week's done. Like, take a breath.
It's a good tournament too.
Is it?
Yeah.
You fished it a few times?
Yeah. I fished it a lot.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those guys do a good job. So tools of the trade. Like, what rod are you using? Rod and reels? What brands do you like?
I'm through 6 Sense, and I am very impressed with their rods. I mean,
they're American made.
Yes, very impressed with them. They so far. I mean, I've been with them for almost 2 years now, and I broke one rod. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the only reason I broke it's because I stepped on it. Yeah. So
bass fishermen are hard on stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hard on stuff, and I can't believe I haven't broke any more of them.
Okay.
But yeah, and then reels I've been using Daiwa. I mean, I really like Daiwa.
Yep.
So
we like Daiwa here at the shop.
Big fan of Daiwa.
Okay. And then you with any? I mean, obviously 6 Sense bait company, but are you with any other bait companies?
No, just 6 Sense right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any brands that you're using consistently that may not be sponsored by or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using the Z2 a lot, which is made by Strike King.
Yeah.
I throw it a lot, stuff like that.
Talk about putting that thing on a hook.
It's a pain. You got to grab it down by its chin and pull it up.
So it's like putting on a pair of socks.
Yeah, it's a pain. Once you start doing it, you get used to it. But they definitely, you can catch a lot more fish though on one bait.
Yeah,
that's the switch.
Just on there, but once it's on there,
it's
straight.
It's on there.
It's on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 6 cents, they also make they make a flush. It's called a flush 5.2, and it's a really good bait.
5.2.
Yeah, it's a 5.2 instead of a 5. And in the open at Rayburn this year in Kentucky Lake, that's how I caught all my fish. I mean, it's a really good bait.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a heavyweight bait too. Like it's heavier. It sinks a little faster. So
that's something I haven't got into a lot. Is throwing the bigger forward-facing minnows.
Yes.
I mean, I'm throwing, like you're saying, the small Z2s and spunk shads and stuff. So, I mean, when do you deploy something like that?
Around this time. I mean, late April, 1st of May, they start, once they get off their beds and stuff, mid-May, they'll start getting something bigger. And I always just pick up a bigger, if I'm minnow, and I pick up a bigger one from now to, probably October. So,
okay. And when you say bigger, 5.2?
5 to 6, 7, I've thrown some 7s and stuff, but I normally just throw around a 5.
Yeah. So those 7s, what kind of head are you putting, what weight are you putting on those?
It just depends. I mean, a lot of times you're fishing shallow with them, so maybe a 3/16 to a quarter a quarter at the most.
Does that bigger profile float the bait, or is it going to bomb on them?
It'll actually kind of float it. I mean, like you go to like Kentucky and places like that, they don't really have thread. Like Kentucky Lake, they don't really have that much threadfin. They eat gizzard shad and stuff. So you always want to throw something bigger. Yeah. And then when you go to Texas, I mean, you're in Texas.
For sure. Then it just makes obvious sense. Table Rock, it's got some big gizzards.
Yes.
They've got
big bass.
But Table Rock, a big bass on Table Rock is an 8. Like a 7's obviously big, but an 8 is like, dude.
Yeah, it's stretching. Like that's as big as.
I mean, we seeing any 9s?
I caught a 933 last year.
Oh, that's right. You did. You and Blake, right?
Yep.
Man, I mean, in that picture didn't do any justice.
No, it's insane.
Blake sent me that picture, and it did not look like a 9-pounder.
It's like,
I mean, obviously we know
a Missouri 9-pounder though compared to a Texas 9-pounder. They're all long and skinny. These are just like, it was only like 22.5, 23 inches long, but it was just unbelievable how big it was.
So tell me about that. Was it? So what'd you catch in on? Did he put up a fight? Sometimes those big ones.
Honestly, we took a trip to Texas literally the week before that. Me and Nick, and we were catching like 8s and 7s. Like we caught so many 7s and 8s. It was unbelievable the week before. And we come back to Table Rock, and me and Blake went out. It was actually Blake's birthday. And we went out and we were fishing, he caught like a 5-pound smallmouth, like right off the bat. And, we had like 22, 23 pounds. We were just messing around. Yeah. And
just messing around. 22, 23.
I just seen one.
18.
I just seen one kind of just floating around. I didn't really think. It might have been a catfish. I don't know. Once they get that big, it's kind of. Yeah. And I threw at it, and it come up and bit it. And I hooked it, and I was like, it's probably a 6-pounder. Oh, okay. I was like, I seen it swirl. I was like, it's probably a 6 or 7-pounder. I was like, it's big, And he netted it. Well, actually, I seen it down in the water. I was like, holy crap. I just seen its belly, and he netted it. And I was like, holy crap. That looks like really, really big. Yeah. And it sure enough was. I thought it was still just like I thought at the most it was an 8-pounder, but no, it was just so full. Yeah. And it weighed 933.
And that was what time of year?
March. It was like March 20th something.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, that's when they're at their fullest.
Right.
I mean, the heaviest.
So what do you think? And then that's another thing. You said he caught a 5-pound smallmouth. So that's another awesome thing about Table Rock. So there's 2 things I want to ask you. So you can go to Table Rock. Obviously, you can get smallmouth,
giant spots,
spotted bass, and large, all 3 species, and sometimes a meanmouth, hybrids, which everybody thinks this is is this a hybrid?
Yeah.
You get on these fishing pages like, no, it's a smallmouth. But there's some true hybrids there.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always like asking people that really intrigues me is, like, you're not seeing 6 and 7-pound spotted bass.
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Isn't it built for it down there?
You would think. I mean, I caught a spot last year. I waded in the Solo Pro last year, and it weighed 491, I think. Is what toad. That's the biggest one I've ever caught. I mean, I think that's as big as they could possibly get. I had a 491 and a 501 smallmouth that day. I mean, the 2 about as big as they could get on that lake. So
aggressive fish too.
Yes.
I've seen some of those spots and smallmouth shoot up from 30 feet away, like it sees the bait land or hears it, and it's like boom.
This year, I haven't really caught any spots. That's just been like, you know, I caught a couple like heavy threes, but nothing that's just like crazy.
I wonder what that is, man, because I feel like it sets up, you know, when we were in Oregon, there were some lakes out in California and Oregon that put out some magnum spots, and they're clear water reservoirs.
Yeah.
You know, Table Rock should support it. I don't know if it's the numbers.
I think there's a lot of spots in there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can go and just, like in the winter time, and have 100 fish days.
Right.
I mean, just catch the crap out of them. So.
Yeah. And there's days I'm very thankful for the spots. Like, my kids out there. Myself, I'm like, okay.
They're fun. I like to just go catch them.
Yeah. Yeah, they eat good. There's a few up the river. You know, I run that jet boat for years, and we started catching them up the river, and I was like, crap, I don't really want to see this.
Yeah.
You know, I want to smallmouth. And it was just kind of one summer that it was like they were up there, and then didn't really catch any more big ones. So you catch some small ones here and there, but last year we actually had a really good year on the river for big largemouth, eating the mag draft. And my buddy Lance threw a big like rat walk bait over a bridge piling with a bunch of logs pushed up to it, caught a 5.
Oh man,
it's a fun trip. But so kind of getting back to we talked about, you know, gear you use and the mental side. Do you ever have a hard time, you know, with the mental side of tournaments and the long days or slow starts?
No, I've did so much of it now. It's just like, I mean, if you do bad, you're never going to do good every tournament. So, I mean, it's just it is a mental game, though. You got to stay in it and definitely keep going, because if you get spun out, you'll get on a bad roll, and it's hard to come out of it. So,
get sped up and moving too fast.
Yeah, you just got to keep your head down and fish. I mean,
so what do you say to these people like, oh, if you take that box away from him, you know, he can't do anything?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. They're just gonna say that. I mean,
when it comes down to it, I mean, the fish you're gonna pretty much be able to live scope.
Yeah,
anytime.
Yeah,
even during the spawn, because some of them aren't going to be in yet.
No, they're all just in different stages.
Yeah. So do you still use it a lot during those times?
Yeah, I still use it, but like, I don't know, just like yesterday we fished. Live scoping really wasn't a deal, so we went and picked up a mag draft and a glide and went fishing and caught several, I mean, decent fish. Yeah, table rock.
That's because I'm going to have some time today.
Yeah.
So you catch them on a mag down there right now?
Yep.
Shallow?
Yeah.
Man. Eddie, what are you doing?
I'm just sitting here listening to Wyatt give out the juice. Wyatt, you might want to restrain a little bit. Because that OMTT that we fished, this last one, yeah, I had 2 of my key bites on a glide.
Nice. I saw that. I saw you take a picture with those.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have seen Mark. I kind of edited it out of my video, but I'm like, dude, here, take a picture. It's for clutch. I need to take a picture. And he's like, dude, you and your freaking pictures. We got fish to catch.
Yeah, when you're the guy that just caught it, you'll take a moment. But if you hadn't caught it, you're like, let me get back in the water.
Nah, it's pretty. But then, yeah, like we fished with the glide for a while, and then they quit hitting it. They were just following it.
Yeah.
So then we switched to some other stuff, and we ended up catching our limit pretty good.
Nice. Well, with all this rain we've had, I mean, they dropped the lake quite a bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
So to pull a lot of water out of the bushes?
Yeah, it's pretty low. I mean, they actually came up like a foot there. Was it like 2 nights ago or something?
Well, we just got a bunch of rain.
And it came back up, and then they're pulling it, and it's got a crazy color to it, the lake does.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks like tea, the whole lake. Yeah, I mean, you can go catch a lot of fish. I mean, just catching quality is pretty tough.
Yeah. You ever go up in the bushes and put on heavy braid and throw a spook up through there? And
yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun way to catch them.
Flipping? I like to flip, especially on bull shoals. I mean, bull shoals is like 23 or 24 foot high right now, but once it stables out, it'll get really good. You can flip and stuff like that.
And what about crappie and walleye? Do you do any of that?
Yeah. You can go down the bull right now and catch the crap out of walleye on points and stuff. Yeah.
Man.
All of them spawned out. They group up. Yeah.
That sounds fun right there. Walleye to me is if I could master one fish, and it'd be hard to pick, but walleye would be up there.
Yeah.
Because they're big, they get big, they look awesome.
Yeah.
You know, they're a cool fish, they fight hard. You know, it's a neat fish. And we have some on Table Rock.
Yeah.
But
Bull's got a lot of walleye. Yeah. They just stocked 2,000 again last week.
What size are this when
they're
stop
fingerlings. So there's no telling how many live, but they do it every year. I mean, so
it'd be a good time to go through like a walleye colored jerkbait, gold jerkbait.
A-rig.
Yeah.
So
what about
we couldn't get away from the freaking walleye on bull shoals in the first OMTT. I was so mad because every time you see a big blob, you're like, oh, sweet, you know? You throw at it, it hits, and you're like, oh, this is big. And you get it up to you see that brown, you're like, goodness.
Well, and that's funny about walleye. You go in the bass tournament, you catch your crap out of them, jerkbait on bull shoals, and you're like, we're coming back Monday, and you call somebody, can't catch them. You can only catch them when you're not targeting them, unless you're a true walleye guy, I guess. But yeah, they're good to eat. I've been doing a lot of crappie fishing lately. It's been a nice little break. I got a couple Millennium seats on the front. And I'm an old man fishing, but I need to get back out and do some bass fishing. Well, is there anything anything you find you got any funny stories or knock Nick into the lake?
I've only fell in the lake one time, and I fished a lot, and I've only fell in one time. Head first. Happen? I had flip flops on. I went to get my bait unhung on a bush, and it was wet on the side of the boat, and I slipped and fell head first.
Never fail stepping on the gunnel.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever fell in. Yeah. Knock on wood, but
there's plenty of wood there.
Yeah.
They built us a 8-inch thick table here. I've never fell in, but I almost did with my kids and my wife the other day because that Millennium seat I told you about, I had one of the bolts out of the bottom. It rattled out.
Yeah.
So it enabled it to rotate. And so when I hit it, it totally flipped. Of course, my wife's there. She's like, oh. I'm like, you know how it is. She's like, you made it worse by making that noise. I was fine until you made the noise. Now I'm not. Well, man, we appreciate you being on here.
Appreciate it.
How many minutes are we in? Man, how'd we talk so long? This is nothing. You and I talked for an hour on accident.
If you get me started, you won't stop.
Yeah. Well, what other lakes are you fishing? Where are you heading? What's your schedule looking like?
I don't have another open till August. But
where's that at?
Leech Lake in Minnesota. And then I'm sitting pretty good in the points. So if I make the EQs, I go to Champlain in New York, and then I go to Wheeler, and then I go to Okeechobee.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a fun match. And what was it?
Leech Lake.
Leech Lake.
Yeah. So it's a new one.
What do you know about Leech Lake?
Nothing really. I mean, they've had one Bassmaster tournament there. So
very big lake?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good size. I mean, there's smallmouth and largemouth.
Minnesota?
So. Yeah.
And it's in August?
It's in August.
So when does the spawn happen up that far north? Pretty soon, right?
June, July. They obviously do it later than here, but like I think we went to St. Clair last year. I can't remember when it was, but they were later in the year and they were spawned out already.
Yeah. And so you've been, how many tournaments, how many opens have you fished so far this year?
3. How
did those go?
The first 2 went good. Top 50 of them made the check. Norfolk was not very good. Had a 1-day tournament with all the weather, and I mean the weights were so tight. I don't remember why I finished in the hundreds, but I was only like 7 ounces out of the top 50.
Yeah,
I mean another day could have moved me up a long ways.
Yeah, you guys had weather. You said it was a 1-day.
Yeah, Rayburn was a 1-day too.
Yeah,
that's the first 2 1-days they've had ever in the opens
back to back.
Yeah.
So the weather's been crazy this year.
Yeah. It just keeps getting worse.
It does. It's been tornadic, and we had a little twister blow through here, and man, you got to be careful out there. Have you ever been stuck on the lake?
Yeah, and pretty good ones. We were gonna fish. There's a Wednesday night tournament last night after the tournament we fished, and it stormed last night. We just said we were just gonna go home. I don't really mess with storms anymore. That tournament on Norfolk, the Open. I got off before because I was smart enough to get off, but a lot of those guys, I don't know, they were getting hailed on by like quarter size and size hail on the lake, and I'm just like,
no thanks.
Yeah, I'm
then
good.
What do? You can't run.
Yeah, you're just sitting in it.
Sit there and take it.
Yeah, I just got off.
So if a guy was wanting to get better at Livescope, let's say a guy can make some casts pretty decent, he can put it in the cone, but he's just not doing well. I think there's a lot of guys at that point, and I get asked that a lot. What would you suggest for them to just get better overall?
I mean, I don't know. I've did it so much. It's just, it's just a habit. Just make good cast, and if it don't bite, just keep going. Don't make the same cast on the same fish. I mean, if it reacts good, I'll fit. I might throw another cast at it or something. You might get lucky, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't really know if it's the bait that you throw. I don't know if that matters.
What is your favorite Livescope bait?
My favorite right now in the winter, like when it's cold, I do like the jug.
Whoa, technical error. Hey guys, you'll have to catch that later.
But I do like the Z2 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's all good.
The Z2 earlier.
A
lot of guys fish that.
Yeah, it's just the normal.
It's kind of like your go-to.
Yeah.
There's some different options that guys can switch it up. Like I've caught them on the. I like the Spunk Shad from Hardcore a lot, but there's the freeloader.
Yeah,
it's kind of a bigger profile. Yeah. They've got multiple sizes. What else they got?
I don't even know what.
There's that drift minnow.
Yeah, the
from
drift
Jackal.
minnow.
It has kind of the roll.
I don't really get too technical.
Too crazy.
I just go normal baits. I mean, anybody can buy. So.
Yeah, imitates a minnow. And you're good to go. So guys, I mean, there's a little tip for you. Is I think what I took from that is don't sit there and pound a fish.
People get technical over it.
Don't get too technical. Yeah. Get you a minnow style bait.
Yeah.
Get better at casting. Put time behind the screen.
Just fish. I mean, not every one of them is going to bite like everybody thinks, you know. So like those guys that go out there and do it for an hour and only catch one or maybe nothing, and then they just quit. I mean,
yeah. So what do these fish like? We just came through the spawn here in Table Rock, and one thing I never see smallmouth on beds because they spawn deeper, right? Yeah. So in the big largemouth, you don't just pull up on a big largemouth up shallow spawning. So where are those fish spawning?
I don't know. I think they spawn in the trees and stuff deep
on a cut off tree top.
Yeah, I think they can do that.
Yeah.
In that last BFL I practiced for, I did see probably it was probably a 7-pounder, but it wasn't even on the bed. It was just cruising down the bank. You can't really catch it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I never really seen any good fish on the bed. I think the guy that won, Marcus, I think he caught him off of it, but I think it's just a section of the lake you've got to find,
Well, and I think those fish are on the corner of docks in that 7 to 15 foot range, and if you're good at kind of knowing what you're looking at down there, you can tell it's a big one.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a story I heard up here at this Big Crappie Challenge that Al McColl was telling me. He's Anglers in Action MC, Big Al. And I guess that big bash up there, the guy had like an 8-pounder found on a bed. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
And he came up and he hooked it 3 times. And he had his son with him, and he hooked it outside the mouth all 3 times. And it was on the corner of a dock down 10 feet or so.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, he's seen it swipe at it and just never hooked it inside the mouth. So he was honest and he put it back. He caught it 3 times. And so the dock owner came down when he was fishing. He's there forever. And he said, "Hey, I've got this fish here. I'm fishing for $100,000. He said, I'll pay you or whatever. Just, don't catch it. Don't tell anybody. I'll do whatever, which I think he made a mistake even talking about it. Just move on. Don't even tell him. And so this guy called his buddy. His buddy came down there at night, caught her, filleted her, which I know this is twice now I'm telling a fillet story, but you can look it up. Meat Eater, Steve Ranella did a story on it. This guy caught it and filleted it. It was an 8-pound bass. He caught it 3 times. $100,000 fish this guy had found. Imagine coming back the next day.
I wouldn't say that's his buddy.
Well, no, it wasn't his buddy.
It wasn't his
buddy.
It was
the dock owner's buddy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so the dock owner ended up saying something to somebody, and the guy came. Why wouldn't the guy just go into the tournament?
And just win $100,000.
Get in his canoe and get out there or whatever. I don't know the rules there, but Meat Eater caught a hold of that story and did a write up on it. So we may have to look for that. Can you imagine pulling up the next day? I guess the guy was still there, like got up, was out there, and that's how he found out. He's like, I caught it and I ate it. Yeah, at least that's the way they told me.
Holy crap.
That's the way they told me.
Them Lake of the Ozarks dock owners or something else.
Well, there's pure numbers is why, because there's so many owners, you're bound to run into a Karen or something. Have you had any issues with that? Anybody getting mad at you fishing their docks?
No, I mean, you get those ones that roll their eyes and stuff, but you live on the lake. What do you expect?
Well, you're probably not.
Yeah, but
hitting their pontoons.
I am.
They just got to get over it.
Yeah,
it's part of it.
And most people are,
a lot of them are understandable, but there's like you said, there's so many of them there that you'll run into that one or two people that are just like that.
I haven't had any issues with anybody, but obviously I don't fish near as often as you doing that. But, I also don't fish. Do you fish docks much?
Yeah, especially when you go up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of can't avoid it. But
yeah. They just did that big crappie, that $50,000 for the biggest crappie up there, and they'll be doing that every year. But that was kind of interesting. Everybody was up the rivers.
Yeah.
And the guys want it just like you do a lot of times, just moving and scoping and finding those big ones.
Yeah.
And it's too bad you can't enter those because
I know
you could probably clean house.
I can't fish any of that stuff, but that's all right.
Yeah, but you've got a different goal, different future, and it's going to be bright and all that. Eddie, actually, you caught in the Solo Pro, you caught the bass that would have won the boat. You would have won the Big Bass Tour, the Yeti Big Bass Tour that day.
Yeah,
I reminded him that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he reminded me of that at the ramp. I'm just like, yeah, thanks.
And
but
what's frustrating to me is I was just on the other side of that swing fishing across, and I'll go by there, and how you kind of getting ready to take off, and no, I'm not going over there.
No, that spot though. The funny part about it is I fished with a guy about a week before that, and we were just fun fishing. But when here's where my mindset's kind of weird. But even when I'm fun fishing, I'm still looking for the next good area or something. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's the competitive nature or something.
Yeah, you're always scouting, right?
But anyway, so we're going down this stretch, and I seen the right trees, the right depth, everything. I'm like, man, they got to be in here. And I'm seeing birds. I'm seeing bait. I'm like, dude, 100% there's bass in here. They have to be. And he's like, man, he sat down. He actually sat down in the boat and he quit fishing. He's like, man, I've never caught a single fish off of this stretch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like,
your co-angler?
No, just a buddy. We were just fishing. My son and him, and we all went. We were trying to get some spots to eat. But so we're going down this stretch, and he's like, I never catch anything off of here, nothing. I'm scoping, obviously, and I'm see one big blob, another big blob. I'm like, I'm leaving these alone. I'm not even casting at them, So I kept going. I seen what I need to see, and I'm just, yeah, you're right. I pick up the trolling motor. We went to a brush pile, started catching some spots, and then during the tournament, I caught, it was like 1 o'clock. I had, I don't know, 13 pounds or something like that. I was like, this is dumb, in my home lake, but the thing is, before that, I've been sacking them. And I was just like, dude, this cannot be happening, not in a tournament. So I run over there, and sure enough, they're still there. And I ended up catching a 7 and a 4.5 right after that one.
That made your day. That's how you got the name Big Fish Eddie.
I don't even know why.
From Randy Conlon. Well, because it was, how big was it?
730 something.
It's a big one. My biggest on Table Rock, 713.
The thing is, my 2 biggest bass of my life came off of Table Rock. Last year, I caught that 840 during that night tournament. That was sick.
I bet.
That was sick. Dane was freaking out.
Do you do any night fishing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I fish a lot.
Are you fishing with any lights, or you like it dark?
Yeah, I mean, just depends what we're doing.
Bugs or what?
Yeah, I don't like the bugs.
Yeah, there's a good night bite going on. I don't do a lot of it, but I might start doing a little more. Go see those guys in that Friday night.
You should. You will avoid a lot of waves.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's another thing is, as far as what's it cost to go fish like you do? Like the amount of gas you got to spend.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's crazy.
I mean, you got to spend what, $100 to $200 in gas?
Yeah,
on rotation.
Yeah, pretty frequently.
And you're driving a Tundra?
Yeah.
Has it got a V8 or V6?
It's just got a V6.
Twin turbo?
Yeah, twin turbo.
That's what mine's got.
Yeah. The gas mileage isn't too great, but I mean, it's not bad. Way better than what I did have. So
yeah.
But I mean, it's still expensive.
Yeah. What did you have before?
Like a 2009 Chevy half ton. Right. It really sucked the gas pulling a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, let me give you some rapid fire questions before we let you go. But let's see. What's your favorite lake in Missouri?
Honestly,
gotta pick one.
Bull Shoals, probably. I mean, it's still halfway Missouri, so you could say it's a Missouri lake. So I'd rather.
Oh, we'll count it.
I like Bull Shoals. I mean, that's the lake I grew up on. So
that's right. That doesn't surprise me. Biggest bass you've caught on Livescope?
933.
And that was where?
Here, Table Rock.
Oh, that's the one you were telling us about earlier.
Yep.
That's a giant Table Rock.
I've caught lots of like 8s. I've caught several 8s in Texas and just lots of 7s.
Biggest smallmouth on Table Rock?
501 or 502, whatever it was in the Solo Pro. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the biggest one I've ever caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
no, but up north, I caught one. I caught like a 620. And then at Kentucky Lake, I caught a 590 something in the open.
Okay. You follow pro fishing? I mean, you got any favorite pros?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really follow it a lot. You know, I watch it enough to know what's going on, but I don't really have any, like, just favorites.
You don't have a favorite?
Not really, no.
What if you had to pick a favorite?
I mean, old or new?
Both.
Like right now.
One old, one new.
Obviously, Rick Clunn.
Okay.
I mean, he was my high school boater for a while.
Okay, that's cool.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm buddy with Cody, you know, the elite angler.
Cody Huff?
Yeah.
It's a good dude.
But how he's a good dude. Really good guy.
And he's from down where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much my neighbor.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So if we move down there, we'll get better at fishing. We'll just move down to Oldfield.
But yeah, I like watching like Connell stuff. He's really good fisherman.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Yeah. You know, and he was kind of in the shadow of Jacob for a while.
Yeah,
like
now it's a little different now.
A little different. I like it because I like Connell.
I do too. I like Dustin. He seems like a pretty cool guy.
I kind of started feeling a little bad for Dustin watching Jacob's videos and stuff. It was like second fiddle, and Jacob has a hammer, you know. But it was cool to see the Batman and Robin. Now he's kind of flip flopped a little bit. Yeah, and Dustin's seems to be a really, really good person.
Yeah, he can catch him doing anything he wants to do.
So where can we follow along with your season moving forward?
Facebook and Instagram.
So Wyatt Marler on Facebook. Is it your personal page or is it a page they can just like?
Yeah, it's actually now you can just like it now.
So it's a business athlete page now. Okay. So. And Instagram is W
Marler 623.
623. Yep. So you guys can follow him there on his socials. Make sure you give him a follow. We appreciate you coming in, man.
I appreciate it.
And, you know, this is our inaugural podcast, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have you back on down the road.
Yep. Anytime.
And catch up with you guys. But thanks for watching. You know, we're live on site here at Modern Outdoor Tackle. Check out modernoutdoortackle.com. We'll ship it to your door. Rods, reels, baits. We'll have it to you in 2-3 days. Yeah, like, subscribe. Make sure you follow our pages. It's a Modern Outdoor Podcast, MODCast Outdoor Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And then our YouTube channel as well. Make sure you hit subscribe, share this out. We appreciate it. And thanks for watching. 7-pound smallmouth. No. And they made him fillet.
Dollar smallmouth.